Today's video is brought to you by SeedsNow.com.
This is an interesting story. A Manhattan mother jumps 8 stories to her death with her infant son strapped to her chest. That's what a great mom this woman, her name's Cynthia Wachenheim, if I'm saying her last name correctly. That's what a great mother this woman was. And this is a pertinent story, which is why I'm bringing it up. But she straps her infant son to her chest and jumps 8 stories from her Harlem building to her own death. But miraculously, her child survives. Is that a miracle? Did God play a role here? Did the Higgs boson particle, newly discovered by CERN, play a role in this? Is it explained by science, or is it explained by God? The fact that this kid actually survived this tragic, violent fall. You can see the picture here of Cynthia Wachenheim with her husband, dressed up very nicely. She's an attorney, a very well-paid attorney. I think they say that she makes over $118,000, or she made over $118,000 a year, which is actually not a whole lot in New York City, considering the expense of lifestyle and just living expenses in general in that area of the country. But they show a picture of happier times. It says here that a Manhattan lawyer strapped her 10-month-old son to her chest and leaped to her death from an 8-story window in Harlem on Wednesday. And the baby miraculously survived with little more than scratches. That's pretty amazing. It really, in my opinion, sounds like a miracle. Cynthia Wachenheim, 44, who left a suicide note castigating herself for being a bad mother. Well, if you thought you were a bad mother before, Cynthia, you really are a shitty one now. You've kind of moved past being a bad mother to pretty much Satan. You are pretty much Satan now, strapping your child to murder someone else because you can't handle your own emotional guilt or your own insanity, which I'm going to get to in a moment, because again, this is pertinent, America. This is pertinent. You know, America is insane. The people are insane. This is a testament to the just grotesque deterioration of our society in general. You know, at one moment, in happier times, smiling faces, looks like she has a little teeth whitener here. Decides to strap her child, her 10-month-old son, to her body so she can jump to her own death. From a bystander here, says, "I heard a small scream when she was in the air," said witness Stephen Dominguez, 18. "I noticed something falling, but I didn't want to believe it was a person." Dominguez teared up as he spoke, said the landing made a horrifying sound. It sounded like a piece of wood breaking on the concrete. It was a loud bang. He says when he got closer, he saw the baby crying that fell out of her arms, miraculously survived, and just kind of rolled off into the corner without merely maybe a few scratches on it. Sources said that Wachenheim left a rambling 13-page handwritten suicide note on small pages of a notebook paper. The notebook said she was not happy, and she talked about what she planned to do. In the note, Wachenheim is saying to her husband, "I love you. I'm making you suffer. You're going to think I'm evil." Which, well, I think is probably a rational conclusion, or at the very least insane, or insanity, for one to draw. The note goes on. I guess her and her husband had been fighting earlier. People heard fighting and bickering through the walls. People were listening, I guess, to their conversation, but didn't really think anything of it, because I guess they fight rather regularly. You can see here a cop with his head outside of the 8-story window in Harlem, evaluating the scene. Police learned not from the note that Wachenheim was convinced her baby had cerebral palsy, although doctors said there was nothing wrong with him. Wachenheim Haim's husband was at work when his wife had jumped. He was also yelling at her earlier in the day, sources say. Wachenheim, a high school valedictorian in Albany and a Columbia law grad, was on maternity leave from her $118,000 a year job in the city court system. She worked there for more than 15 years doing research and writing for judges. People say that she was wonderful. They really liked her. Employers say that they are deeply saddened by the tragic event. They say that she was a very friendly woman. So what am I getting at here? What am I getting at? Why am I even bringing up this story? Well, I'm bringing up this story because not only was it a tragedy, and is it a tragedy, but as I'm highlighting right here, a police source said Wachenheim was taking antidepressants, psychotropic medication, brain-altering substance. You know, the Prozacs, the Celexas, the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical industry loves to put on its victims. Pop this pill, Wachenheim. Feeling a little postpartum depression from having a baby? Take a cure-all pill. It'll make you absolutely frigging insane. You'll be so crazy on these psychotropic drugs that you'll either go Adam Lanza or Jared Loughner butt F crazy and start murdering innocent victims at movie theaters, or attempt to assassinate Gabriel Gifford types, government types, or you'll strap a baby, your own son, your own lifeblood to your chest and attempt to jump to your own fiery, suicidal, crazy, absurd death outside of your Harlem building. So again, a police source said Wachenheim was taking antidepressants and that pills were found in the apartment. Now, I don't want to draw any cause and effect here. I don't want to draw any correlation here at all. But you know what I do want to blame for this? Guns. I don't really know how it ties in, but I think guns provoked Wachenheim to jump to her demonic death. I'm going to blame guns here. And specifically, I'm going to blame automatic weapons. I think automatic weapons are to blame for this insanity. Again, nobody wants to talk about the drugs. The drugs. The drugs. How much more do I have to go over this? Please get this story out. Share it everywhere. And you know what? Thank God there was a divine force, at least in my opinion, that helped this miracle along so that this child can live and have a life and at least an attempt at it. And imagine the just emotional trauma that this child is going to have to grow up with, knowing that his own mother tried to murder him, but that he somehow survived, and he doesn't really quite know why. Was it Higgs boson? Was it science? Or was it God? Was it a miracle? You decide, America. As always, hard-hitting and in your face. Get this out everywhere. I'm Christopher Green. Peace.